Hello again, everybody, and welcome to our Vegas Voice family. I'm the publisher of the magazine, Dan Roberts, and one of the great chores that I have in life is dealing with our fantastic columnist. If you don't believe me, guess who I have next to me? She is our movie critic, Renee Riendeau, and we are so glad that she's part of our Vegas Voice family. Renee, as always, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's fun.
It's fun. Well, we're going to find that out. You know, one of the great things about Renee is that she does our movie reviews for the magazine. And I guess the first question is, how did you even fall into something like that?
Well, one of the reporters at the station and I went to a movie, and in talking, I just mentioned that I used to do movie reviews in Glendale, California for the newspaper. She said, "Oh my gosh, we need someone at SCA TV."
At Sun City Anthem, yes. Go ahead.
Because they just quit. So I went to the next production meeting and I pitched myself, and I don't know if they voted on me or what, but the next thing I knew, I was the movie critic.
Well, you had to be a unanimous choice. Why would anybody not want you to do that? How did you fall into it, though? I mean, you said you were doing movie reviews in another newspaper. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I was a school teacher in Glendale, California for 30 years. And in the newspaper it said, we're looking for someone to review movies. And several of us applied, and they chose two, a man and myself.
Right.
And we did it for a year or two, I can't remember.
And you enjoyed it, I assume.
Oh, yes. I had a little column with my picture, and enjoyed it. I like to write.
You do?
That's my best thing, is writing.
Yeah.
When I was going through school, not those tests that ABC, or I always did better on essays.
And when you were a school teacher, you mentioned, what did you teach in school? What was your subject in school?
Oh, well, I taught everything from kindergarten to 10th grade. I was teaching at the time that they brought in special education. And a friend of mine said, "Boy, you ought to go for that because it'll be smaller class size and more money." So I got my master's in reading and learning disabilities. And so I taught primary section, which was grades 1, 2, 3. Then I moved up to intermediate, 4, 5, 6. Then I went to middle school. And that was a real challenge because a lot of them had police records already.
Oh my, really?
Being in special education. And I did it for so long, and I went to my boss and I said, I got to have a change. So they grandfathered me into adaptive PE for special education. So I got to go around to 17 schools, and I tested children motorically in special education, and that was wonderful. I had a nice office at the Board of Education. Right. So my last 8 years were a real thrill.
And how long have you been out in Las Vegas now?
20 years.
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And as you mentioned, you're also the movie critic, if you want to call that, for Sun City Anthem TV. And how long have you been doing that?
I think this is my 6th year.
Really? Okay, now, you're going to go to the movies. What do you look for in a movie? Is there anything in particular? Is it geared for the general audience? Is it geared for seniors?
Well, since I recently had to go to hearing aids, I look for a movie that I can hear. No, I think about the people at Anthem my age, what they are interested in. So I didn't go to some of the horror movies. Okay. Or the fantasy things. I try to go to things that I'm interested in. I think they would be too when I talk to them. And I come out of the movie. Sometimes I ask the people around me what they thought. Mm-hmm. But I come out of the movie with my own decision. Then, when I'm ready to do the research, I go to 3 or 4 different reviews. Right. And see what they say and mix it with what I think, pick out who agrees with me. Right. And I don't like to put a lot of negative things in my reviews. So I may say the critics are saying this, but I feel this because I think people want to know what's interesting in it and if they want to go see it.
And have you ever did a movie review in which you liked it, but the other movie reviewers did not like it, or vice versa, or anything along those lines where you say, wait a minute, I don't think we saw the same movie because of the different reviews?
Actually, the one about Hollywood, the director,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
The new one, yeah.
I thought Matt Damon did a great job. Brad Pitt
Right.
did a great job, but I didn't care for the movie. I didn't like them bringing in that killing at the
Right.
end. And so that's what I said in my review, and now it's over Academy Awards.
Well, it is, but the interesting thing you say that, Renee, is that Rhonda and I started to watch that movie. Half hour, we shut it off. We just couldn't take it.
I didn't think it's a good movie at all.
Oh, I mean, it just shows you how. Is it because you think it's an age difference or Hollywood? I mean, what could it possibly be that we can have such diametrically opposite views with mainstream?
I think it's Hollywood and some of the drugs that go on
The
during
drugs,
the
yeah,
writing.
drugs always work, yeah. Okay. And when you do a movie review, I know last month you did it on Judy, but the movie about Judy Garland. I mean, that was a fantastic movie. You enjoy? I mean, do you enjoy something like that?
Right. I didn't know what it was about before I went, other than her. And then when I saw that they were just using her as an adult and the
Right.
problems she got into, I was thrilled because we didn't get that information.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it was really fascinating.
She really had a rough life, and all we got was how wonderful her voice was.
Right.
I enjoyed that movie a lot.
So, I mean, how many movies would you say you see a year, based for movie reviews?
I don't know a year, but I go to 2 or 3 a week.
Oh, you do? Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you walk. I mean, you pay for it. They don't give you a free pass.
Yeah,
or anything.
right.
You get a senior discount.
Yeah, but a lot of times a senior day doesn't work for me.
Oh, it just shows you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try to do the senior days, but sometimes, like a Friday, is a good day for me to go to a movie because the week is I want to relax. But there's no senior discounts on Friday.
No senior discounts. However, one more thing a couple of things I want to add. You have something, or you've done something that most people maybe just dream about, and you've done it. And that is appear on stage in Carnegie Hall in New York City.
It was such a thrill, you have no idea.
Well, no, but that's what I want to find out. How did you end up being on stage at Carnegie Hall singing?
Well, actually, I've been very fortunate my whole life. I seem to be at the right place at the right time,
Right.
often. And Bruce Ewing, my director of the choir, got an invitation to bring the choir to Carnegie Hall and work with Pepper Choplin, who wrote the music that we sang. And it was a no-brainer. We voted on it, of course, hands down. And 88 of us went. And we rehearsed at the hotel they had in the ballroom.
Right.
And then we went across the street and sang at Carnegie Hall. And walking out there on stage and seeing that magnificent arena, my heart just started pounding. I started praying and thanking God for being there, and knowing that my parents were be so thrilled, and I'm sure they were looking down on me.
I would think so.
It was wonderful because we sang with, there were 270 singers, and we were 88 of those. The rest were from across the United States, some from Canada, and we also sang with a 25-piece orchestra.
Oh, that must have been beautiful.
The sound was magnificent, yeah, it was.
Let me, just walking inside, going up the steps, and realizing that you're in Carnegie Hall. I mean, that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yes, and I had torn my meniscus on my left knee just before I went,
Oh my.
so I had to go with a cane. I thought nothing's going to stop me from doing this.
Yeah.
And they were very nice. They didn't want the cane on the stage. They set me down, and then they came and got it so it wouldn't trip anybody. And the minute we were through singing, there they came with
Right
my
there. Huh?
cane.
Oh.
Yeah, I got special attention. So.
I mean, like, obviously a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Oh, it was. It was. Never forget it.
So, if I understand this, besides the movie reviews, besides singing at Carnegie Hall, you also are pretty good with dogs, aren't you?
Well, that's how I got the torn meniscus. The dog was saying hello to me when I came home and sort of jumped on me, and I torqued myself and wasn't good. Yes, I love dogs. Well, I like animals,
Right.
and dogs especially. I'm not really a cat person, although I've watched cats. But I do have a little business called Renee's Roommates. My daughter didn't like me saying that, but I thought
I think
it
that was
was
a cute name. Go ahead.
most of them sleep with me because it's amazing. Dog owners let their pets come up on the bed. So
Some of us do and some of us don't. But go ahead.
some of us do.
Yeah.
And most do.
Okay.
And they bring the dog beds, but I've only had one dog that at nighttime slept in his bed. The rest all. And it's interesting because they find little places on my bed. I have just a queen-size bed, but they all seem to fit,
Yeah.
and they stay in their place.
But you enjoy doing it, though.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
it's not like a business. It's like a
Oh,
glorified
no, it's
hobby.
fun.
Yeah.
And I have a little 9-pound Yorkie, and they play with my dog, too. So
And they all get along.
Oh, yeah. He's a rescue dog, and he just allows other dogs to come in and eat his food or drink his water or whatever. He's just not confrontive, so it's wonderful.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being with us. And if anyone has any questions as to why I'm so thrilled to be the publisher of the Vegas Voice, it is because of our great columnist, and Renee's the perfect example. So I thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
And we will see you next time. And this is Dan Roberts for our Vegas Voice family.